The worship committee asked me to read the letter from the Birmingham jail written by Dr. King. And I'm proud to say that he is my fraternity brother, and he was at my initiation. So I feel a close relationship to him. I almost didn't make it through this last Sunday when I was reading that. If I'd had 3 more lines, I probably would have not made it, because I was just about to break down. Because when you've been there and you've seen it and heard it and experienced it, it's to remember those times is very, very emotional. Our second reading today is taken from the letter from the Birmingham jail by Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's greatest stumbling block in the stride toward freedom is not the white citizen counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I can't agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically feels that he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by the myth of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait until a more convenient season. When he wrote that letter, I was 20 years old, 21 years old, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. I felt the same feelings at that point, and the point he was trying to make was that how can you tell us what we ought to do? And you're trying, you're in that mindset of control. You're going to tell me how I should ask for my freedom. You're going to tell me what I should say when I'm dealing with my freedom, or when I can do it. Don't do it now. Let's wait later. Or you don't do it that way. There was a time when the church was very powerful. It was during that period that the early Christians rejoiced when they were deemed worthy to suffer for what they believed. We were the ones that were doing the real peaceful, nonviolent thing. We didn't advocate violence, but yet violence was put upon us. And I'll never forget on Peachtree Street in front of Rich's department store, we were protesting at their lunch counter. And my sister was a student at Spelman while I was at Morehouse. And we were marching together up and down the street. And these 2 big bully white guys came along and just sort of punched my sister and knocked her into the street, almost got run over by a car. And I was so full of rage, and I just bust out crying because we were indoctrinated that you don't fight back, you don't use violence. And so I just reached out and sort of snatched my sister up out of the way of a car. These are things you never forget. The contemporary church is so often a weak, ineffectual voice with an uncertain sound. It is so often the arch supporter of the status quo. Far from being disturbed by the presence of the church, the power structure of the average community is consoled by the church's often vocal sanction of things as they are. But the judgment of God is upon the church as never before. Christ gave us the formula. He gave us the format. Love your enemies. Love your neighbor. Love God. If you look at the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, the one single theme through everything in my thinking is love. God so loved the world. And that's what we have to maintain. That has to be our theme, our message, our sermon, so to speak, all the time. I hope the church as a whole will meet the challenge of this decisive hour. Here ends the reading. If you're looking for a warm, loving, family-type church, we're it. no matter how you look, who you love, come to All Saints. You know, you have a home. That's the way I feel about it.